Hey Reddit, I need to share the absurdity of living under the rule of our passive aggressive HOA president, Linda. A bit of background. I live in a cozy suburban neighborhood where everyone knows each other. It was peaceful and harmonious until Linda, a retired schoolteacher in her late 60s, took over as HOA president last year. She was known for her strict demeanor and attention to detail, but no one could have predicted the passive aggressive tyranny that was about to unfold. At first, it was small things. Linda would leave notes on mailboxes about trash bins being left out too long or grass being a little too long. The notes were always polite on the surface, but dripping with passive aggression. We wouldn't want our lovely neighborhood to look unkempt, would we? Or, I'm sure you simply forgot, but trash bins are quite an eyesore when left out. Then came the newsletter. What used to be a simple monthly update on community events became a vehicle for Linda's suggestions. She would include sections like friendly reminders, which were anything but friendly. Some residents might not be aware, but parking on the street overnight is not permitted. It's unfortunate to see such disregard for our guidelines, she would write, never naming names but making it clear who the target was. Linda also started hosting monthly HOA meetings that felt more like court sessions. She would smile sweetly while tearing into anyone who dared to question her. "Oh, you didn't receive the memo about the new garden regulations? That's odd. Everyone else did," she'd say, casting doubt on anyone's competence but her own. One incident that stands out was the mailbox debacle. A neighbor, Tom, had replaced his old rusty mailbox with a sleek modern one. It looked great, but it wasn't the approved style. Instead of addressing it directly, Linda started sending out emails to the entire neighborhood about how traditional aesthetics are what make our community charming and that recent deviations were disappointing. She then added a passive-aggressive postscript. "I'm sure we all agree on maintaining our neighborhood's unique character." Tom tried to discuss it with her, but she would deflect, saying things like, "Oh, it's not personal, Tom. We just need to preserve the charm." Eventually, Tom replaced his mailbox with an approved one, clearly defeated. The final straw for many of us came with the Holiday Decorations Directive. Linda decided that holiday lights were to be uniform across the neighborhood. She didn't outright ban individual styles, but made it clear in the newsletter. While creativity is appreciated, uniformity in holiday decorations shows our unity as a community. Please consider this when decorating your homes this season. Some of us decided to push back. We decorated our houses in the most outrageous, eclectic mix of holiday lights and decorations we could find. Inflatable snowmen, multicolored lights, giant candy canes. You name it, we had it. Linda responded with yet another newsletter, this one with a much sharper tone. It's disheartening to see some residents choosing to ignore the spirit of community unity. This behavior is noted. At the next HOA meeting, tensions were high. Linda tried to maintain her passive-aggressive facade, but couldn't hide her frustration. "It's about respect," she said through gritted teeth. "Respect for our guidelines and for each other." That's when one brave neighbor, Susan, stood up and said what we were all thinking. "Respect goes both ways, Linda. You can't demand it without giving it. We all want what's best for the neighborhood, but we need to feel heard, not controlled." There was a moment of stunned silence, and then the room erupted in applause. Linda, clearly taken aback, muttered something about needing to revisit the issue and adjourned the meeting early. Since then, Linda has been less overtly controlling. The notes and newsletters still come, but they're less frequent and less biting. It's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. We're still figuring out how to reclaim our sense of community from under Linda's passive-aggressive thumb, but at least now we're standing up for ourselves. And who knows? Maybe next holiday season, our neighborhood will be a dazzling, eclectic display of unity and defiance.